Hello, guys, and welcome to today's off-season outlook and discussion for April 20th, 2022. And we're getting towards the last 10 days of April here. Time is just going by quickly, and here's the days that we got left until the tropical weather outlook. We have 25 days until those start, and then the official start of the hurricane season starts in 42 days. So sooner or later, this is going to go down between below 20 days and 40 days, and it's going to come on us pretty quickly here as we head out towards the end of April here. Yes, I can't believe we're actually getting into the month of May. This year just seems to be going by so quickly that just before we know it, we're going to be in hurricane season, and that's what I want to keep you guys ahead of is the hurricane season, and that's why I do these updates every other day to every other 3 days to keep you guys ahead of the season. Let you guys know what the sea surface temperatures are like. Because sea surface temperatures is a big deal when it comes to tropical cyclones, and that's primarily what we're focusing on the off-season outlooks and discussions is the sea surface temperature changes over a certain amount of days. In this case, we're going to be going over the 3 day differences here in some of these locations. And here we are. We're going to be starting in the western Atlantic here. You can see this is from the 18th, so this was 2 days ago, and you can see that these yellows are starting to creep up farther to north into the Gulf Stream here, and that's pretty important. As some of these systems that get into the Gulf Stream, they call them these systems that get into these Gulf waters, Gulf Stream magic, so to speak. So those are warming up pretty nicely, and we've seen this huge big warm tongue here in the Gulf of Mexico and all these other places. So what? How about the 19th? As you can see, we didn't check these out. The 19th to the 20th, you can see that those oranges have creeped up pretty nicely here in the northern Gulf of Mexico. These are literally these are probably less than 100 miles from touching the coast here of Florida, Alabama, and that's going to be important to watch what happens with that as we head out through time. And you can see that the Bay of Campeche is starting to bubble up past the 21 North line, and this is going to be, something to watch heading forward. And then when we get to the next day here, you can see that parts of the western MDR region has warmed up a little bit to the north, but then you can see how wide this has become here in the Gulf of Mexico. You see those 26s and 27s are now pushing their way to the east now, and sooner or later, all of these greens and dark greens you see here are going to be these yellows and oranges. That is indicative of that warm tongue, that loop current that is situated right there in that part of the Gulf of Mexico. So now that I feel like fronts are done for at least this part of the world, I think that these waters are going to start warming up pretty nicely. And, who knows what these temperatures are going to be looking like come mid-May or late May. These Gulf of Mexico waters have been known for drastically changing in the water temperatures, within a snap of your finger, right? We've seen it. But you can see, around Florida, a lot of those 26s, and 26s, a lot of 26s, hitting here in the Bahamas here. So these waters are becoming quite favorable temperature wise for sustainable tropical development as we head out through the last couple of days of April. So we're gonna come back to this here in a few days. Bookmark it. We're gonna see what changes here in the next couple of days. All right, so here is the NOAA coral reef watch sea surface temperature anomaly changes here. And as you can see, your typical places that you don't want to see for a hyperactive season, warm subtropics, colder MDR. Like I've talked about this a few times. Switch these roles, and you're going to be looking at a hyperactive season. But right now we're looking at more named storms than more ace here with this kind of look. As you know, obviously with this kind of a look, these storms aren't going to get going until farther west, and the farther west the storm goes, the higher the chance it has of hidden land. So that's why this is a problem, and scientists and researchers have done the research as to why these systems are rapidly intensifying closer to land, and well, you see what's going on here. These super warm SST anomalies here, the storms are going to feed off of that, and that's going to rapidly intensify a system on approach to land. It's just not something that you want to see or deal with or feel in that matter. So, but this is the 18th. We got 2 other days. We got the 19th and the 20th to look at. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the 19th of April. As you can see, we're going to switch back and forth here. You can see that the Eastern Caribbean has started to warm up a little bit compared to 18th. And we got some warming coming, trying to creep up north here. These are the anomalies, so these are the departures from normal. But as you can see, subtropics warm, MDR cold. It's not really ideal for it's not ideal for a hyperactive season, but it's still ideal for an active season. If you get what I'm saying here. So, we see some more oranges that are popping up in the MDR. So, these anomalies are trying to change in the MDR region, but, we're going to have to see if it does success or not. All depends on the upcoming negative NAO phase, how long the weakening trades will stay. And, once we get into this, May, June, July, you're going to have that natural warming. So you got to have that. And, when the wave train, the WAM starts, it's going to, apparently, the WAM is going to be pretty strong. So that's going to promote warming of the MDR too. So there's, it's not just, the negative NAO in the trades. You got natural warming as well, plus the WAM. So we're just going to have to see how this all pans out as we head closer to time. And now we're going to take a look at the 20th. And you can see that even more reds are starting to creep up here. So these reds and neutral conditions are starting to eat away at these blues, but not good enough right now for the time being. As you can see, these reds here at the 12 north line, that's eating away at these anomalies. So we still got the same look as always here. Super hot Gulf of Mexico, super hot subtropics. But then we look at this MDR, and it's still, in a minus sign. Not it's favorable, but not favorable at the same time. So now what we're going to do here is now we're going to take a look at the 15-day changes here, and as you can see here, this is from the 15th, so this was 5 days ago. We're going to go over the evolution of these sea surface temperature changes. And you can see here in the Gulf of Mexico, it was cooling down pretty nicely. I think this was the time where we had that decent cold front come through and really dropped these temperatures down, and they quite didn't recover for a while. But, as you can see here, we got some, warming here in the 15-day time frame in the MDR, plus some cooling in the subtropics, which is pretty interesting to see. But how is that going to correlate to the 19th? So what you see here is even less blues here in the MDR and even more reds creeping up in the MDR in the 15-day time frame from the difference between April 15th and April 19th. But you can also see here, that the MDR started to warm up pretty nicely too. So, we're seeing a major warm up in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and that's due to the daytime heating. The angle of the sun is starting to get more of an angle and staying out longer, and that's why these waters are starting to warm up pretty quickly in the Gulf of Mexico. So what about the subtropics? And as you can see, it was cooling down pretty nicely here in the 15-day time frame on the 15th, but then the subtropics started to warm up a little bit, and then that's history. And then you got more reds here in the MDR, but then you got more reds creeping up here up north that are eating away at these these minus signs here, these cooler than normal sea surface temperatures in the last 15 days, and you can see that there's even less blues now than there was on the 20th and 19th. You know, we're looking at the MDR really trying to warm up as we speak right now, and we're just gonna have to see how long this negative NAO phase and these weak trades go until we finally get to the point where we start getting natural warming in those areas. It's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out from here. All right, one more thing we're going to take a look at. We're going to take a look at the Nino 3.4 region, and this is important. We go over this every single time that we make a video here. As you can see, there's plenty of peaks and mountains here to go along, but we're more importantly going to be talking about this time frame between March 20th and April 20th here, that 1 month time frame. As you can see, it went up a tiny little mountain here and then dipped through a little valley and then up a little valley here, and then it tumbled down the mountain, so to speak, just to make it a little funny, or try to. I probably shouldn't do that again. Anyways, here we go. Here around the 10th here, maybe, between the 8th and the 10th, we started to climb up a little bit, and then we're still, climbing up a little bit, and we're still climbing. And right now we're at a value of negative 0.860, which is still a decently weak La Nina here. And forecasters are, predicting that this La Nina is going to be sticking around for the entirety of the hurricane season. And this would be a triple dip La Nina. And those are rare. It's only happened 3 times in the course of history. And this is about to be the 4th if things pan out the way, the forecasters are saying. And it's also a rarity that we start a season in a La Nina and they go the whole way through. And we're definitely starting the season off with a La Nina this year. So we're going to see how that affects the early season, even preseason stuff, even as we head out to mid-May or early May. We're just going to have to see, what models pick something up in those time frames. But my prediction is between early May and mid-May, we're probably going to see something. And it's probably going to be in the Northwestern Caribbean or somewhere in the Caribbean area. Anyways, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. I will be back again probably Friday or Saturday with another video. Anyways, until next time, take care, have a nice one, and see you on the next one.